The 2026 World Cup is the biggest tournament the sport has ever seen. 48 nations, 12 groups, and 72 group stage matches that produced a staggering, record-breaking 215 goals before a single knockout tie was even played. Out of more than 1,000 of the finest footballers on the planet, only a handful truly rose above the rest. These 5 players didn't just perform, they carried their nations on their backs, shattered records that had stood for decades, and lit up stadiums from Mexico City to Toronto. From a striker finally living the World Cup dream that had been stolen from him for years, to a 38-year-old genius writing the last great chapter of his legend, these are the 5 best players of the World Cup 2026 group stage. But the order they finish in, and exactly who sits at number 1, might just surprise you. At number 5 is Vinícius Júnior of Brazil. The Real Madrid winger arrived in North America carrying the weight of an entire footballing nation on his shoulders. Brazil, the most successful country in the history of the World Cup, with 5 titles to their name, has not lifted the trophy in over 2 decades, and in 2026, the Seleção made Vinícius the center of absolutely everything they do. He answered that pressure emphatically. Across Brazil's 3 group games, Vinícius scored 4 goals and set up 1 more 5-goal involvements that made him the most productive attacker of any of the traditional title favorites in the entire opening round. Operating from the left flank, he was a nightmare for every fullback sent out to stop him, cutting inside onto his right foot, exploding past defenders with those trademark stepovers, and drawing the fouls and penalties that his teammates fed off. In every single one of Brazil's group matches, he was their brightest spark and their most dangerous threat. If the Seleção are finally going to end their long, painful wait for a 6th star, this is the man they believe will deliver it, and in the group stage, he looked every inch the part. Number 4 is Erling Haaland of Norway. For the best part of a decade, the most feared goalscorer on the planet had been forced to watch the World Cup from his living room. Norway, despite producing this once-in-a-generation talent, kept falling agonizingly short, failing to qualify tournament after tournament, wasting some of the very best years of Haaland's career. In 2026, that painful streak finally ended, and Norway reached their first World Cup in generations. Haaland made every second of the wait feel worth it. On his very first World Cup appearance, he scored twice. Then he did it all over again, another ruthless clinical brace, giving him 4 goals in just 2 group stage matches. That is the most lethal strike rate of anyone near the top of the scoring charts, 2 goals for every single game he stepped onto the pitch. His terrifying blend of raw physical power, deceptive pace, and utterly ice-cold finishing dragged an unfancied Norway side out of their group and onto the biggest stage in world sport. He didn't just qualify, he announced himself to the one audience that had never seen him at a World Cup before. And the frightening thought for every other nation left in this tournament: Erling Haaland is only just getting warmed up. At number 3 is Ousmane Dembélé of France. He arrived at this tournament as the reigning Ballon d'Or winner, officially crowned the best footballer in the entire world, and with that title came an almost unbearable weight of expectation. Dembélé didn't buckle. He produced the single most explosive individual display of the whole group stage. Against Norway, he was simply unplayable. He scored in the 7th minute, struck again in the 20th, and completed his hat-trick in the 32nd. 3 goals inside the opening half hour, from a combined expected goals value of barely 19/100ths of a single chance. In other words, he conjured goals out of almost nothing but pure individual brilliance. With that treble, he became the first reigning Ballon d'Or holder to score a World Cup hat-trick since Cristiano Ronaldo back in 2018, and only the 3rd Frenchman in history to hit 3 in a single World Cup match. He closed the group stage with 4 goals and 2 assists, 6 goal involvements in total, level with his own teammate for the most of any player at the entire tournament. Drifting in from the right wing and gliding past defenders, as if they simply weren't there, Ousmane Dembélé turned his golden year into a World Cup that nobody who watched it will ever forget. Number 2 is Kylian Mbappé, the captain, the talisman, and the beating heart of the France national team. This is a man who once scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final and still ended up on the losing side, a player who has already achieved more by his mid-20s than most legends manage across an entire career. He came into 2026 as France's all-time leading goalscorer, having overtaken every single icon in his nation's history, and he wasted absolutely no time reminding the world exactly why he is seen as the heir to the sport's throne. Mbappé struck twice against Senegal, and then twice again against Iraq, 2 clinical, cold-blooded braces that handed him 4 goals in the group stage. But he offered so much more than just finishing. He added 2 assists as well, finishing with 6 goal involvements, joint top of the entire tournament, and behind only one single player on the planet in pure goals scored. Every time France needed a spark, Mbappe was the one who provided it. A devastating burst of pace in behind the defensive line, a composed finish under the fiercest pressure, or a perfectly weighted pass to release a teammate. By almost any measure you choose, he was the outstanding attacking force of the group stage. So what was the problem for Kylian Mbappé? A 38-year-old legend simply refused to let anyone else wear the crown, and that man is our number 1. And the best player of the World Cup 2026 group stage is Lionel Messi. At 38 years of age, in what is almost certainly the very last World Cup of his career, the Argentine captain is chasing something almost nobody in history has ever done: back-to-back World Cup titles as the defending champions. Most players his age retired years ago. Messi, somehow, is still the best footballer on the entire planet. And he opened his farewell tournament in the most emphatic, spine-tingling fashion imaginable. In Argentina's very first match, against Algeria, he scored a hat-trick, and remarkably, incredibly, it was the first World Cup hat-trick of his entire glittering career. He followed it with a brace against Austria, and then exactly when Argentina needed him most, a sublime, curling strike against Jordan. 6 goals in 3 matches, more than any other player at the tournament. And here is the single statistic that truly sets him apart from every other superstar on this list. He was the only player in the entire competition, out of every single one of the world's greatest names, to score in all 3 of his group matches. Those 6 goals pushed him clear as the all-time leading goalscorer in the history of the Men's World Cup, extending a record that may quite genuinely never be broken. He topped the goal-scoring charts. He topped the goal involvement charts. He turned in match-winning, man-of-the-match performances, and he was officially named the standout player of the entire group stage. Younger, faster, stronger men filled the pitches of North America this summer, but not a single one of them bent this World Cup to their will the way Lionel Messi did. At an age when the legends of the game are long gone and forgotten, he is still, right now, writing history. From Vinícius Júnior firing Brazil forward, to Haaland's record-breaking World Cup debut, to a French duo who terrorized defenses week after week, all the way up to Lionel Messi standing completely alone at the very summit. These are the 5 players who own the World Cup 2026 group stage. And 2 more names deserve a mention before we go. Germany's Deniz Undav became the highest-scoring super substitute in World Cup history, with 5 goal contributions off the bench in barely an hour of football, while France's Michael Olise led every single player at the tournament with 5 assists. But here is the thing to remember: the group stage is only the beginning. The knockout rounds are where legends are truly forged, where one single mistake ends your dream, and one moment of magic makes you immortal forever. So who do you think lifts the trophy? Drop your pick in the comments right now, and subscribe for more World Cup rankings all the way to the final.